I'm Lights Out Ace, and today I'm throwing you a not spicy one at all. It's boring old removal pile. And as I said in my tweet yesterday, I think that this deck is still the best deck. Unfortunately, it's sort of trailing off. The meta is adjusting a bit, but it's still super powerful and always going to be a solid choice. So what makes FJS not Armory / removal pile a good deck? Well, it's got all the best removal spells in the game. You know, Harsh Rule, Runehammer, Slay, Vanquish, Torch. Those are good. Wanted Poster added a huge thing with Dead Reckoning. Now it's got card advantage. It's in a deck with this many removal spells. It's basically just going to be Wisdom of the Elders for 2. Like, your opponent has to play a unit, but they're going to play a unit at some point. If they're sort of deck that doesn't play a unit until late, you can afford to wait until late to draw cards because you can afford to be clunkier. So my list is pretty close to stock. I was cheating on the Annihilates and playing more Statuary Maidens instead, but Kamato convinced me that you need to have at least 6 cards you could play on turn 2. So I'm running the bare minimum of cheap cards. And Throne Warden is much better than Makto or Tavrot or whatever else you'd play in the 5 slot. Daisho Throne Warden wins the game, and I like having one Sword of the Sky King because I hate losing to Feln because I think that deck is terrible. And with the sword, you can also rise for a big boost of health in the late game, which is nice. So, if I think removal pile is the best, why do I think it's becoming bad, and what beats it, you might ask? Well, charge units are excellent. It has like very little fast speed stuff. It has very few blockers, and so it's very weak to stuff like the new Scream deck is becoming popular if they don't get a clunky draw. It's weak to stuff like Stone Scar unless you draw your cheap removal right on time, and then you Throne Warden to gain health so you don't get burned out. And the other main weakness is Dawnwalker. And this version is extremely light on answers to Dawnwalker. There's basically just Statuary Maiden and hope that they don't have anything. The reason that removal pile is good, however, is that even in these bad matchups, it can win. Like, it may look like a control deck, like you're just stock full of removal spells and stuff, but in mini matchups, even like most of them, your opponent can beat you in the late game, so you have to just get them dead. So you use Rise to Challenge to pick up Daisho Throne Warden or to pick up Icaria, and you just kind of like tempo them out. And even against Dawnwalker decks, if you set up a Sword of the Sky King or Daisho, like kill the unit and play, then you can like use a Harsh Rule to kill the next fatty plus Dawnwalker, and then like Slay, Annihilate, or Double Slay or something to clear the way and just like hit them for 16 damage with your Relic Weapon and sneak a win. And Icaria really helps that plan too, because unless they have a Titan, which you have roughly 500 billion ways to kill, that gets to sneak in, attack, and then like block a Dawnwalker, and then hopefully draw a 10-10 Icaria and get them. Like 10-10 Icaria, like probably should be the name of this deck. Like turn 7 Icaria is what I named the deck, and that's good and all, but like the turn 8 10-10 Icaria is what really gets them. And yeah, I mean, it seems like the meta is bad, but like somehow I find a way. I don't know. So gonna play a few games with it. Like I'd say walk through decision trees, but it's pretty stock. It's pretty boring and basic. You know, you just play removal spells turn 2 through 6. You play Icaria, you kill them. And that's just what the deck does. This hand is obviously bad. I guess like the main mistake is if you rise for the wrong things. Like so many people just rise for Icaria constantly all the time, even when you can't cast it or when it's not good. Like I find that I rise for Icaria less than I rise for other things. I'm going to play this just so that all my powers are depleted. I'm not certain if they are Feln or the Scream deck, but either way I want to keep a Wanted Poster. Feln plays units. Poster Slay, we get them. Alright, looks like they are indeed a Feln control deck, as the FPS Scream deck does not play Strategize. So here the plan is to go Warden Daisho and kill him with it. So this deck's meta positioning, like I said, is not quite control. In a matchup like this, we kind of are the beatdown. Like they could gift us and channel us or whatever in the late game, so we do want to somewhat kill them. So I have enough power, I think, here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Missing like 1 fire. I'm just going to take the Quarry. Runehammer isn't great. All their stuff has 5 health. It's excellent to rise for Runehammer, because that's a 2-for-1 unless they have exactly Black Sky Harbinger. But just a normal 4 Runehammer needs help from a Torch to get there. Or them like blocking a unit. Also, importantly here, they played a Shadow Sigil. Like, so they had one turn where they were not playing a Primal, so that means they're a turn behind on their Champion of Cunning. So this is why I don't like playing Annihilate. It's like actually completely dead against Feln. And many other decks too. let's keep on digging. Just looking for threats now. Just want Rises and Icarias, basically. I could just hammer the face here, but I do have a torch, so now it's not a dead card. I'll use like hammer torch to kill a thing and then hopefully be able to hit face a couple times after that. Just slamming for 4 doesn't seem great here. Well, they played another non-primal source. That's so good. And another one? Okay. Now I'm less worried about Champion of Cunning and more worried about like Azendel's Gift, which I don't have any way to do anything about right now. There's no double shadow cards in my deck, so I don't need to think about whether to get fire or shadow there. Yeah, if they play Gift, I am super dead. Like, what kind of degenerate plays Gift on ladder? Good, not our opponent. Whew. Dodged it. As soon as they play a unit, we get to draw a bunch of cards. Excellent. Perfect. No idea how happy I am to see that. So I can just stick this on there. And this on there. And then hammer, torch, yeah. They didn't play the Harbinger on 6, which makes me think they just drew it, which makes me think they don't have a second one, so this will probably do something. And now I get to draw 4 cards. Alright, Rise is excellent. Sword of the Sky King beats them by itself. Alright, we're in great shape now. Didn't get gifted, I think we win. Extract, sure. Runehammer down. Let's have to play this Sword of the Sky King and win the game, I guess. Not sure how I even beat that. Like, multiple champions in a row doesn't even work because I've got these 2 slays. Another Ryza challenge? Yeah, I'll take it. Straight gas. Oh my goodness, an Annihilate target? This worked out really well for us. I might just scoop it up right here. Otherwise, I'm going to Rise for an Icaria here just to have 2 axes of pressure. Leave the Justice in there for the other privilege. No, I have 2 Seeks. I'll grab them both. Alright. Yeah, we drew a lot more cards than our opponent this game, and now they're dead. Woo. Yeah. Oh, I guess when I was going over matchups, I didn't mention, like, the actual Nightmare matchup, which is Skycrag. Like, all of our cards are so clunky and expensive and slow speed, and they just play a couple of cheap Aegis guys and just completely destroy you, even if you have Harsh Rule. Like, multiple Thorn Wardens is the only way to win that matchup, and that doesn't work if they have their best draws. So yeah, definitely want to dodge Skycrag. Dawnwalker isn't your favorite to see, but you're not, like, cold to it. And mono charge decks like Scream are, again, not your favorite, but you're not cold to it. Because you do have Torch, you do have Thrower and Icaria to block. So you can steal wins everywhere, but Skycrag is definitely really bad, and Charge in general is not what you want to see. You just want to see, like, mid-range and control decks. Like, if you're facing, like, Argenport and Feln and Icaria Blue and, like, various non-Dawnwalker mid-range decks, like Xenon, oftentimes, then removal pile is exactly where you want to be. It just punishes them because they can't get a tempo advantage because they're playing somewhat slower, clunkier cards too. So the fact that all your stuff costs 3 and 4 doesn't hurt you. Then you get a window to Rise, and then you get a 2-for-1 with a Icaria or with a Runehammer, which snowballs into the next 2-for-1, and then you just win the game. And sometimes you do get to just set up the, like, either hammer into Thorn Warden or Thorn Warden into Daisho and just get a free win. Just blowing people up. They can't find anyone in my MR range. I have, between yesterday and today, won my last 10 games in a row with this deck. It's pretty absurd. So I can see how it would take them a minute to fetch my opponent. Alternatively, my internet might have disconnected. Let me just go check that quick. That's still going strong. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so I've definitely felt bad playing this deck. Not felt bad because, like, oh, I'm playing this deck, I feel bad. Like, I don't feel bad. Like, I don't feel bad when I play Skycrag or Chelsea. It just feels bad because it feels like you're always behind. and then you just like come back and win games you feel like you have no right to win. Like you just like top deck a Harsh Rule or top deck an Icaria, and you're like, well, that sure was a lucky draw, and you get them. But like, it's not lucky if it happens almost every game, right? That's just how the deck is set up. Like it just holds on just long enough to slam an Icaria and win the game from there. All right, we must have had some sort of problem here. Usually when my queues hit 3 minutes, I just cancel and requeue and I find somebody real quick. So let's hope that is the case here. Yeah, there's a fair share of like Twitch clips of me playing this over the last week where I rip a Harsh Rule at the perfect time or rip a Rise or an Icaria at the right time. But it's kind of what the deck is set up to do. It is extremely consistent. It's just 31 power, 21 removal spells, and then 10 like fat cards that can win the game. Yeah, see, there we found one in 30 seconds. Oh, Buckwheat. He's not number 1 right now either, so he's probably on the warpath. I think Buckwheat was on Skycrag. His hand is pretty decent there. Like, got a Torch and a Slay. 5 power is kind of a lot, but I have a lot of expensive cards in my deck, and against Skycrag, if I just get to 7, I'm going to be in good shape. So, let's do it. I'm sure I'll draw some clunky expensive cards. Ooh, or he's not on that. What could that mean? Alright, save this Seek Power because I don't know if I'm going to need triple Fire or triple Justice yet. It looks like he might be on Scream, in which case I want to save this Torch. I don't know, he's playing some sort of Felnscar, some sort of bigger Felnscar deck. Quarry discarding Blacksky Harbinger. Interesting. I'm super into it, whatever it is. I'm a big fan of Blacksky Harbinger and Quarry in the same deck. Alright, I'll take an Icaria. I really want to cast this Icaria on time, but he also missed the power drop, so I want to punish him. So I'm just going to search for Fire Sigil so I can play this Throne Warden next turn. And if I draw another power, it's way more likely to be Justice and Fires because I have more Justice sources in my deck. Alright, well, he just didn't find third power, despite being on the draw with a Quarry. That's very unlucky. By turn 5, so you got to see 5, 6, 7 extra cards, and there's just only 2 power in them. Woof. Brutal. Alright, well, let's try and get a real game. Also, best of luck, Buckwheat. I hope you get back to rank 1. I know it means a lot to you. Also, I've just become more of a fan of Buckwheat's over time. He's a very good deck tuner and a very interesting person. He's real funny. That certainly won't help my large MMR problems, though. Beating somebody who's rank 3. Woof. Just running that winning streak up. See what I mean? It just seems like the deck finds a way to win. Like, sometimes the opponent gets power screwed. You just get there. Sometimes your opponent doesn't draw any of their key cards, and you just rise for a Daisho and you kill them. Sometimes your Praxis opponent doesn't find Dawnwalker until turn 7. You already have an Icaria in play and a second one in hand. It finds a way to win. I think queues are also going to be much higher this week, maybe this whole month, just because that sealed event came out 3 days ago and people have been playing tons and tons of sealed instead of queuing up in ranked. Because I know that a couple people on Discord were complaining about large queue times, which normally aren't a big issue. Like, I generally find, like, if you're in, like, top 30, then, yeah, your queue times are, like, 2-3 minutes. And it's just, like, there's not many people that high MMR, so it takes a long time. But if you're, like, lower than that, if you're, like, 50, 100, 200, or lower, like, as your master's rank, then the queue times are always, like, 15, 30 seconds, and they're real quick. But I was near the top of the ladder when the season reset, and then I've still been winning, so I think my MMR is still super high, which leads to long queue times. I'll have to meme it up on stream sometime soon. I'll probably bring back like a Stone Scar Control or Stone Scar midrange deck. I basically just want to play Flamestoker and Shadowlands Tyrant because I think those cards are really sweet and really underplayed. Like, I mean, it's very possible that the best Flamestoker deck is just Removal Pile where you cut Icaria for Flamestoker. Like, it's suboptimal, it makes the deck worse, but that might be the best spot for Flamestoker. But I just really want to try and make it work in a... I do really want to try to make it work in a Stone Scar shell. You have so many good defensive tools and so many good removal spells. Oh, Main West. Faced like 2 well-known players in a row. I don't think I can keep this. My influence isn't really there. 2 wanted posters don't really do much. Alright, so basically just scouting for power and hoping to slam Icaria. Icaria versus Icaria. So I have no idea what he's on, but I'm still gonna lead with this Crest. I'll probably just keep a power. I'll give you a torch. So most decks have torch targets where it's obviously great, and if he's playing one of those decks where torch isn't great, then Runehammer plus torch. That means Runehammer is bad, and Runehammer plus torch kills a fatty. So I think I'm just happy to keep a torch either way. All right. The addition of that FPS Scream deck means that, like, the Fel and Skycrag openings are now very ambiguous. I just don't know what people are doing. Okay, so that's a power. It's neither fire nor justice. But it's my 5th power, so I'm going to keep it. So I want to make sure that I get up to this Icaria on turn 7. Another nice thing with this deck is that the Crest, like a lot of decks when you're, like, scouting around, you want to try and make sure that you have the correct, like, ratio of power and non-power. With this deck, you basically just always want more power because you want to get up to 7 on turn 7, and then the game ends shortly after that. Wanted Poster. Well, in combination with the Harsh Rule, I think that's good, so I'm going to keep it. He's going to, like, hammer his next play and then hope he doesn't have another charge thing. And if I, like, hammer his thing and then he torches, that's still good for me and still 2 for 1. So basically I just hope he doesn't play 2 units this turn. Actually, if he does play 2 units, I'll just Poster 1 and then Harsh Rule. Yeah, so I'm just going to Poster 1 and Harsh Rule. Yeah, that's a really good grinding drone. And that. Obvious Harsh Rule is obvious. If he doesn't play anything else, I could just pass and try to get more value out of my Harsh Rule. But if he's stuck on 2, then I think that just drawing 2 cards that I can cast the Icaria on turn 7 is the best way to go. Although, now I drew that. Yeah, I'm going to wait 1 turn. It's kind of greedy, but he's not pressuring me at all. He doesn't have any way to remove the poster. Like, there's no way he's playing Caleb's Choice or anything. Alright, yeah, I guess I'll just slay this, save the rule. Draw my 2 cards, hopefully I get a fire source. This way, even if it's depleted, I can play the depleted fire source and then play the Icaria. Alright. Did not find him. I did find a Daisho, so Daisho plus Harsh Rule is also very good. Although, since he has that, it means I kind of lose it to a Harsh Rule. Or kind of lose it to a Torch, which I don't know if he has or not. So I guess I'm going to play this first. Let's kind of protect my Daisho a little bit. And then if he plays another guy, I can kill it, play Daisho, and slam for their 4. I think we're going to win this. Yeah, I'm snapping off the Harsh Rule, especially since I have 2 of them. Yeah, so I played Daisho. I could have gotten in for 8 here. He'd be at 13. But it was very reasonable that he had a torch, and I hadn't seen his paws yet, I don't think. Alright, Chamber of Fear is quite good. It gives me a target for Vanquish, though. As long as his development is super clunk, we'll be okay. Do that. And I'm just going to Rise for a Throne Warden. I mean, 1, it's just the best card against Skycrag, but 2, we also have a Daisho and an Icaria, so I don't know what else we would get. Seems pretty in the bag. Man, that's like 2 power screwed-ish opponents in a row. Wonder if he's on like a big Skycrag and that's why he hasn't been able to play anything. Or he just has a handful of permafrost and stuff. Yeah, he's just doing nothing forever and ever. Well, let's play Icaria and slam. Remember how Skycrag had a problem dealing with Sandstorm Titan? Imagine what trouble they have dealing with Icaria. It's Sandstorm Titan with Aegis. Yep. Alright, well, let's actually get like a real game here instead of when our opponent is just like power screwed. Although I suppose his hand must have been full of situational cards like torches or rock slides, permafrost, that sort of thing. Which this deck makes pretty irrelevant. Like, all removal spells are pretty bad against us. Like, there's just the Throne Wardens and the Icarias, which all have Aegis, and, like, the one Statuary Maiden, which still has an effect if permafrosted. So I know he's on some slow, grindy control deck, so I'll keep a power-heavy hand with the Privilege. And Throne Warden's good against control. Alright, now I have all my influence requirements. I have a Rise to Challenge. It's looking good. Yeah, now I'll actually get to see what his deck is, which interests me. Alright, Bin's a Hailstorm. Okay, so I'll get to cast Privilege next turn, which is excellent. So I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 power, so I don't need this. I think I'll draw, like, 1 more power at some point. And I need another fire to be my 7th source anyways. Strategize. Maybe he is digging for power again. Cheating a lot on power because of Quarry and Strat. Yeah, when I was building Felnscar, I was trying to build a Feast Caller deck. But between all the Crest and Strategies and Quarry, I found myself spinning my wheels a lot, and I ended up cutting some Quarries. Because, like, I'm definitely not going to cut Wisdom. So, it's an interesting decision as to what mix of cantrips you're going to play. Like, if you're playing the full 12, like 4 Wisdom, 4 Strategize, 4 Quarry, then, like, how are you fitting in enough interaction in the early turns? Alright, so I think I'm just rising for a Daisho here since I have all these Throne Wardens. Icaria is great, but sometimes it's better to rise for Daisho. Like, I just play Warden into Daisho into Warden. That should just be all she wrote. Like, even a Champion of Cunning isn't gonna do a whole lot against that curve. That's like Sabotage or Devastating Setback is a devastating setback for me, because then I just don't have anything going on anymore. Alright, spending burn on the unit's good. That means they're not spending it on my face. Just slam, strike, sure. Oh, baby, there's some more burn gone. Did you think I wouldn't rise for Daisho, Buckwheat? Yep. And we got him. So you can see how it's still the king of the slow control decks. It can beat aggro if they get off to a slow start. It can beat mid-range. Like, mid-range is a great matchup. You kill all their stuff more efficiently, and then you slam Icaria and Daishos. Even Dawnwalkers can be beaten by racing them with Icaria. I mean, those games are boring, but, like, that's just how the deck is. It is very consistent and very same old boring. So I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Like if you liked the video. Don't if you didn't. Peace.